What's up, guys? We're here today in Miami, and I'm here to prove a point to the automotive world that if you really wanted to, you could daily drive a Lamborghini Countach. Yes, I said it. These cars have a terrible reputation, and honestly, I don't even think it's from guys that have used and driven a Countach. I think it's over the years they've gotten a bad reputation from people that, whatever reason. But I think I've spent a lot of time in Countaches to say that when a Countach is serviced properly, when it's maintained correctly, and you've got the right fluids, the right fuel, it's an incredible driving experience and something that can be used pretty regularly. Yes, I will say today in Miami heat, it's probably not the best day to drive a Countach. The AC are a little lacking, but still, this is the ultimate driving experience. So we're driving today a 1986 Lamborghini Countach downdraft. This is, without a doubt, the best example, in my eyes, my opinion, in a lot of other experts' opinion, of the Countach. It's the highest horsepower of any Countach produced. This is the European carbureted version. The same car that was used as FIA Group B racing homologation. So these cars are almost in sort of best tune with a sport exhaust, or almost 500 horsepower. And they're also, compared to the anniversary cars, they feel very light. They feel nimble. The steering is incredible. I do recommend always having the Pirelli, the updated Pirelli P7 tires. They're a smaller tire in the front, and the cars really steer and handle well. When you've had all the bushings done, your brakes sort of gone through, these cars are actually very, very, very nice to drive. And once you're on the highway, this is really where the Countach excels. These cars love the open road. They just want to go and go and go, and they feel so planted and so solid. I actually have never been afraid of taking my hands off the wheel of a Countach at almost at any speed, because they're just that solid of a car. Just not tuned right. It would be a fuel injected car, most likely on the fuel injection cars. The boss system is not even it's synced, and it's just, so their experience of a Countach is probably the worst, honestly. The US cars are heavier, the anniversary cars are heavier. They're actually not that great to steer either. The steering anniversary cars feels very heavy. So 90% of the time, the experience that someone's had in a Countach is not the right car. Give me a side draft car, give me an LP 400S or a downdraft, and I'm a happy camper. The car feels more like a sports car in the way it handles than it does a supercar or an exotic. And that's why I love these early carbureted cars. I was going to call it a carbo draft. Creating something new. The other thing that I love about the European spec cars, and specifically the downdraft, is the way these cars were created. They rev very quickly, so it almost feels like a Carrera GT or some GT3 RS example. Revs very fast, very cool, and even in and out of traffic, under acceleration, passing. If you have your mirrors adjusted, and once you really get the hang of the car, it really is not a bad car to drive. I don't care what anybody says. You've got to have everything sorted out mechanically. You got to get used to the car, and then you just fit right in like a glove, and that's when you really fall in love with the car, is once you're not intimidated. Get over the intimidation factor, and I think that's one of the biggest problems with the Countach, is the first time someone gets in, you're a little claustrophobic. You've got the windows here, they go down 2 inches, you can barely see out of the back, so you become intimidated when you don't realize that once you find your seating position the correct way, you adjust your mirrors, you understand how wide the car is, you understand the clutch, how the car drives, it becomes really a pleasure. And it becomes something that is appreciated, and something that is just honestly one of the best automotive experiences I think ever. About an hour of driving. We could probably modify the AC, and today is a hot day in Miami, but not bad so far daily driving the Countach. So we're gonna roll down the window a little bit to get a little air in the cockpit. Last weekend, this probably would have been a little bit better. These cars love to run in, let's say, 70-degree weather. It's not so bad. In Europe, I think, where the temperatures are a little cooler than Miami, they're probably a lot more usable. But definitely in the winter, you can use a Countach all the time. If you modify the AC, you can get it very cold. A good friend of ours, Dennis Crowley, has a Lamborghini Countach anniversary that we've modified the AC, and it's absolutely freezing. He was telling me last weekend he actually had to shut off the AC because it got so cold in the car. And here we go. Again, once you get used to the clutch, this car is not terribly bad, but you've got to get a feel for the clutch. It's not as bad, nowhere near as a lot of other supercars from this period. I would even say the F40 and a few other cars are probably more difficult to drive than the Countach around town. In terms of the clutch pedal, gearbox is not bad. Yes, it's very stiff, but you feel it when it goes into gear. This is such a masculine car. You almost feel like when you've gotten out of a Countach, you've done a workout, and in a good way. You feel accomplished. And this is probably the best part of the Countach, is going for a cruise at high speeds. Whew. So as you can see, everybody has their cell phone cameras out. They want to take pictures. There is nothing more exciting than any Countach experience. And we're gonna fill her up with some gas. As you can see, the turning radius is not 100% the best as a new car, but it's still not bad considering it's a 1980s supercar. The one thing about this car though, and I don't know how much of the camera is capturing this, there is nothing like the experience of a Countach. I don't think anyone today that wasn't around the cars even years ago or today, I mean, no Pagani, no Bugatti has the same impact as this car. Even today, imagine 30, almost 40 years later from when the car was first introduced to the world. I'm gonna attempt to park. Doing that, you gotta look at the side mirror, make sure you don't mess up the wheels. Did you see? That wasn't so bad at all. There we go. Going to pull into a parking garage and show you guys just how easy, or maybe just how terrible it is. Again, we go at a little bit of an angle because these cars are low. You gotta watch the door. And again, it's a wide car, so we want to make sure we take this wide. Oops. Like I said, turning radius is not great. I'm going to back up a little bit. And if I didn't already have the door open, see, I'm going to have to open the door to get the ticket. I'm going to have to get out of the car. Get back in the car, And voila, we've parked. Thank you guys again for watching Curated TV. Don't forget to subscribe and like the channel. I think we just got free parking. And yes, another upside of daily driving a Countach, free parking.